Okay, so simplifying expressions. So first thing we're going to do is recap on two of the laws of indices, multiplying and dividing. So we've got here, as we go along, please do copy this out. So an example, when multiplying terms with the same base, you add the powers, okay? So we've got the same base of a, we've got a to the power of m multiplied by a to the power of n. So our final answer, our base number stays the same, or unknown variable stays the same, our base stays the same, and then all we do is add our two powers. So examples, we've got x times x. Now hopefully it won't be news, but some of you hopefully will remember that when we have a variable or a number on its own, it is always to the power of 1, but we don't write the 1 there, but it's always there. So x times by x, the same thing as x to the power of 1 plus 1, which gives us x squared, or x to the power of 2. We've got here a to the power of 2 multiplied by a to the power of 4. Our base stays the same and we add our powers, so 2 plus 4 giving us a final answer of a to the power of 6. We've got 4 to the power of 5 multiplied by 4 to the power of 3. Our base stays the same as 4, and then all we do is add our powers, so we end up with 4 to the power of 8. When we've got something like this, where we don't have a power, an extra power for our unknown variable, we've got 5b multiplied by 2. We just multiply our integers, so we get 5 times by 2 gives us the 10, and then our b, there's nothing else to multiply it by, so we just add our b onto the end, so it's 10 times by b. But in algebra, remember, we don't write our multiply sign, so it ends up as 10b. And finally, 3g multiplied by 5g. So we multiply our integers together because they are not the same, so we have to multiply them. So we get 15g, and then remember, it's g times by g, remembering that when it's on its own, it's always to the power of 1. So g to the power of 1 plus 1, giving us a final answer of 15g to the power of 2. And similarly, but we're going to do now is divide. So when dividing terms with the same base, you subtract the powers. So when you multiply, you add them. When you're dividing, you subtract them. So we've got a to the power of m divided by a to the power of n gives us an answer of a to the power of m minus n. So we're taking them away. Some examples. So x to the power of 3 divided by x. So remembering there's that invisible 1 there. So we get x to the power of 3 take away 1, giving us x squared, or x to the power of 2. A to the power of 4 divided by a to the power of 2. So our a stays the same and we subtract our power, so we end up with a squared. 4 to the power of 5 divided by 4 to the power of 3. Our base number stays the same, we just subtract our power, so we end up with 4 to the power of 5 take away 3, which is 4 to the power of 2, or 4 squared. 10b divided by 2. Again, there is no other unknown variable, so we just divide our integers. So 10 divided by 2 gives us 5, and then b, there's something to divide the b by, so we just add the b onto the 5, so it's 5 times by b. But remembering algebra, we don't put our time sign, we just stick them together. And finally, 15g to the power of 3 divided by 5g. Our integers, we divide them, so 15 divided by 5 gives us the 3. Our g to the power of 3 divided by g to the power of 1. So it becomes g to the power of 3, take away 1, giving us a final answer of 15g to the power of 2, or 15g squared. So that's a bit of a recap. So let's have a look at these examples. So again, copy these out as I'm going along. So we've got 4a times by 2. So we don't have another a to multiply by, so we don't need to worry about those adding those powers. So 4 times by 2 gives an answer of 8, and then we'll just pop our a on the end. Question 2, 3a times by 2a. So first thing we have to do is multiply our integers. So 3 times 2 gives us 6. We've got a, then remembering that there's that invisible 1 there, so it's a to the power of 1 and a to the power of 1. So we have to add our powers, so we end up with 6a squared, or 6a to the power of 2. Question 3, we've got 3m times 2n. Multiplying our integers, giving us 6, and then m and n, they're not the same, so we just have to multiply them to our number. Remember, this is the same thing as writing 6 times m times n, but in algebra, we don't write our times, we just stick them together like that. Question 4, 6a divided by 2. So divide our integers, 6 divided by 2 gives an answer of 3, and then a, there's nothing else to divide it by, so we just add our a to the end. 5y times y. So there is nothing else to times our integer 2, so it's 5, and then we've got two lots of y, so y and then 1 plus 1, because remember there's that 1 there. So 5 5y to the power of 2, or 5y squared would be our final answer. Question 6, 28n divided by 7. We divide our integers, so we're ending up with 4n. And I'd like you to pause this video and have a go at these questions. Remember to copy them out and have a go at them. And finally, have a go at these questions.